welcome or welcome back to Tower and Chill. My name's Nisha, and this is a pick a card reading with the solution to your problem. I've got 3 groups for you to choose from today. Group 1 is the coin. Group 2 is this bookmark. And group 3 is the little gold heart-shaped dish. Please pause the video now if you need to take a moment to make your choice, otherwise I'll see you in your reading. All the timestamps will be in the description box below. You can also find details of my personal readings if you're interested in booking with me, as well as Patreon if you'd like to see more content from me. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in your reading. This reading is for you if you chose the coin. I'm going to be shuffling on camera today, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. We're using the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith deck. How can group number 1 solve their problem? What is the solution to group number 1's problem? First card out is the 3 of Wands reversed. Then you have the Ace of Pentacles. And the 2 of Swords. I do feel like currently you may have a plan which is not a very good plan. And you may need to change it. You may need to revisit your plans to try and see where you may have had the wrong ideas about something. Because I feel like maybe your vision for the future is off. You might have a negative vision of yourself and like a negative feeling about yourself. And I feel like right now you might be planning things based off of like how you're feeling and the negative vision of your future. I hope that makes sense. It feels like focusing less on the future would be good for you guys right now. I'm not sure if you're very anxious, but it feels like not very good to think too far ahead. Like it feels like maybe someone's thinking 3 weeks ahead, 3 months ahead, and maybe even 3 years ahead, and you're feeling very stressed about that. It feels like time to rewind that and maybe not try and look past the next 2 weeks for right now and try and focus on what's right in front of you in your practical reality. I feel like there may be some money you can earn which might help you with a problem, like with this coin here. Maybe some of you are short on money. And I feel like it may be just time to focus on that more intensely. And again, like not try and think too far ahead. You might want to focus on maybe like immediate things you can do right now for money. So I'm not sure if there's like something you can sell at home or if there's a kind of temporary job or something you can do immediately rather than like making plans for the future. I also don't know if you're making a financial plan for your future, which maybe needs to be implemented now instead of later, or something along those lines. I feel like it might be good to try and hold on to more money for somebody. It's like you maybe want to do something very expensive, like go on a holiday in the future, and maybe it's not really achievable right now, and you might have to, I want to say, pause on your heart's desire for a little bit and maybe get a bit of like centering with yourself. It feels like you may be blocking out certain solutions to your problem because you don't want to look at them, and maybe not wanting to, I'm feeling like not wanting to go very far away, and that might also be the solution. Like stop trying to go so far away and stay closer to home, and stop trying so hard to block your own feelings. I want to say, like, allow your feelings out. It feels maybe like you're not willing to face things in your life right now, and I feel like you might have to take off your blindfold to focus and like face your reality. But I also do feel like maybe it's good for you to block out your feelings a little bit and just focus on the practical and the materialistic and what is right in front of you again, like your day-to-day eating habits and your money and your sleeping habits, and anything too far outside of yourself you should maybe shut out from your awareness. So like, for example, maybe there's like people who live far away from you that you might want to pause communication with a little bit because they might be distracting you from your present reality. Or maybe you're going online and looking at celebrities and like comparing yourself and trying to keep up with the Joneses or something along those lines, and it feels like time to shut all that energy out. Like you probably don't need to know what everyone else is doing, especially people abroad and things like that. I feel like you don't need to know what they're doing. For somebody, I feel like there's like a plan to move abroad and you need to reverse that. It's like the specific plan is like trying to move abroad, but I feel like you need to stay where you are. I also feel like for somebody, it's time to stop putting out communication with people. You might be trying to communicate with too many people, and it might be causing stress for you, and you maybe need to protect your heart from the kind of people you have been trying to communicate with. I want to say it feels like time to stop putting things out there and focus on what you already have. I want to say you might have been trying too many options and finding that actually it's better to stay where you are, I want to say. Like maybe stay where you are and focus on making things better where you are rather than trying to make a big grand plan or a change for the future. I do feel like there's something there about your emotions and you putting pressure on yourself and pausing things, and that does seem to be like the advice somewhat, to pause things and take a think. But also I do feel like you may need to unleash some of your creative power, I want to say. I feel like there's something that wants to come through about that. Let me just shuffle for some more cards. Yeah, I feel like there's something coming through about your emotional state and how much you might need an unleash of it. Like you might need to cry, you might need to stop holding it all in and holding it all back. I feel like there's a lot of things that you're very emotional about that you want to scream about, but you're not allowing yourself to scream, and changes that you want to make which are not being made. And it feels like for good reason, like it's like not very good to make the changes and not very good to take sudden dramatic action. But also at the same time, I do feel like you do need to unleash your feelings, and it's like that blockage inside you. It's like there's pressure inside you and stress. And I feel like you're kind of misdirecting your stress. It's like you're internalizing your stress. And I feel like it's getting worse and worse. And I do feel like there may be someone you can open up to emotionally that would help. Even if it's just yourself, like allowing yourself to feel your own feelings. And I feel like it will really help you. It will help you to grow and mature as a person and help to get you out of your current mood, I want to say, or your current situation. It does feel like there's something deep under the surface which you may need to work on. I'm not sure if it is something to do with finances and beliefs about yourself and what you deserve and what you don't deserve. For the future, it may be some internalized, I want to say like money scarcity mentality or anxiety. Again, anxiety keeps coming through. It's like it's all been internalized. And I'm also coming up against something like love beliefs. Like, again, it's like your worth and what you see for yourself in your future. Some of you might have been closing your heart because you feel like not worthy of love. But I feel like that's not true. And I feel like, I honestly feel like there may be someone who likes you, and I feel like you may like someone back. But it's like something stopping you from acting on your feelings and saying anything or doing anything or moving towards people, or maybe to stop you from like accepting love from people in the first place. I do feel like some of you might need help right now, and you may need to ask for help from somebody. Like it feels like quite big problems that some people in this group are having. And it's like to the extent where it's like interfering with your sleep and your peace and your rest. And it feels like quite a big momentous decision that you're trying to make, which you feel like you can't make on your own. I want to say it's like you're trying to put off the decision and trying to not have to think about it. And I feel like there's a lot that wants to, again, like come up from you. And it's like a case of taking a pause, taking a breather from actively dealing with too many people or things, to just go within and enjoy your own emotions, I want to say. And maybe they're not enjoyable, maybe they're horrible. Maybe they make you want to tear the walls of your house down, or like pull your hair out, or rip people a new asshole. I'm hearing it's like your anger needs to be allowed an outlet, but maybe you currently don't have one. And I feel like you maybe need to process your own thoughts before you can allow your anger to have an outlet. I want to say this feels like a really difficult situation that you're having. And I feel like there is solutions to be found, and I feel like they're near your vicinity right now. Like they're not far away. They're not very difficult to come across, but I do feel like your mental state and your emotional state might be preventing you from seeing them or claiming them or accepting them or focusing on them. And I feel like you may be trying to do too much at the moment. Like you may have several problems that you want to solve and that you are asking of this reading, or in general that you're thinking about right now. And I feel like it may be important to focus on one at a time. No more than two, because I feel like you might have like 3 really major problems. And it's like each time you try and focus on one, there's like another one that gets your attention. I'm also not sure if you do have like attention-seeking people that want you and won't leave you alone. It's like you're getting people talking to you all the time, and you maybe just want some space. Maybe you just need a break. So yeah, I do feel like it might be a good idea to progress with less communication with people, unless it's like someone who you're really emotionally deeply interested in or engaged with. Because I do feel like you're going to, I don't want to say this, but it feels like you're going to be really stressed if you keep going with what you've been doing. I feel like it's getting unmanageable. And the stress needs to be reversed. I feel like you need some peace, you need some relaxation, you need some comfort. And I do feel like it's maybe like a mental health thing for somebody. You might need to take better care of yourself in a grounded, kind of stable way. For somebody, you might want to maybe visit a GP or a doctor and talk to them about your feelings. For someone, you might need therapy. But I do feel like it might be difficult for you to even open up with like a therapist right now. It just feels like you might want some alone time to really deal with the stuff on your own before you tell anyone. Because I do feel this like emotional shyness. And I feel like sometimes you might want to wait until the right moment. It's kind of like when it just feels like you can't help it anymore, like you can't not say something. That might be the time to say it. Because I do feel like sometimes it's like your mind is like talking you out of it, and I feel like your feelings will push you forward when it's time. But it might be like you didn't want it to come out like that, like you didn't want to say it like that. And I feel like you might be worried about something you said or something you've done or something along those lines. And I feel like it's going to be okay. But I do feel like right now it might feel very stressful, and I feel like the immediate solution to your problems would be de-stressing a little bit and trying to reduce the amount you're focusing on, like reduce the clutter on your mind and your plate. I feel like with regards to love, there may be something which is under the surface, which is like unable to be talked about. It feels like you're unable to deal with it. I'm not sure if you went through like a sudden breakup with someone and you got no closure, and it's like your internal emotional state is still a bit wonky from that. And I feel like it's maybe a thing where you decided not to communicate with somebody anymore, and maybe you're no longer receptive to their communication or something like that. And I feel like it may be not a bad idea to not be receptive to their communication. But at the same time, if you're feeling like talking to the person, I think you should, because it feels like an emotional healing thing if you feel like it. But obviously if you don't feel like it, then don't. And I want to say, if you don't want to talk to someone anymore, you're welcome to like cut them off and block them. Like, you don't have to keep talking to them, sweet friend. Please don't feel like you have to keep talking to them just for the sake of it. You are allowed to cut people off, and I just feel like maybe when you do, your mental state will be much clearer and much healthier anyway. But yeah, I want to say, talk to a therapist if you need to. You can book a reading with me if you find these readings helpful. I'm feeling like this one would be better as a personal reading, to be honest, but I know not everyone can afford one these days, especially if you are having money problems. So do feel free to get in touch if you can afford it. If not, then I'll try and do more readings. Comment below if there's any specific ones that you'd like that might be useful for everyone else. Anyway, I hope you guys managed to get on top of your stress and to solve this problem, because it does feel like quite a difficult one, and I do feel like it's quite troubling for you, and it's maybe caused your whole emotional state to be out of balance. And I feel like it's impossible for you to like think to the future anymore. Like, it's really important for you to stop trying so much and focus on putting one foot in front of the other and taking each day as it comes and focusing on what you can actually do right now and what you have in your hands and what you can hold. And maybe stay away from like esoteric spiritual stuff for now, or again, like what's going on in other countries and what other people are saying and doing. It feels like it's all really stressing you and overwhelming you, and I feel like it's just time for you to go with the flow a bit more. I want to say, like, go with the emotional flow that you're feeling and let yourself be guided by that, because I feel like it's going to take you to the right places that you need to go, and away from places that you don't need to go, and people you don't need to see, and people you don't need to talk to. So anyway, I want to say that things will hopefully get better for you soon, but I do feel like this anxiety thing for you is quite a big issue, and the stress is quite a big issue, and there may be some medical advice that can help you, or changes to your day-to-day routine that can help you as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that group one. Please do get in touch if you'd like a personal. Otherwise, I'll see you again next time. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated for you. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed and you like these kind of readings. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. This reading is for you if you chose the bookmark. I'm going to shuffle on camera today, and we are using the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. What is the solution to Group 2's problem, please, Spirit? The solution to Group 2's problem. The Queen of Pentacles. The Four of Cups. The Six of Cups and the Eight of Cups. I do feel like there may be some body or something that you need to say goodbye to or need to close out or move away from or leave behind. It feels like you've been not wanting to speak to this person or not wanting to speak to people in general, and I feel like it's maybe for the best, but you might want to, I feel like you maybe need to reconnect to let go. Like maybe you have like an ex who you've been not replying to because you don't really want to see them again, but I feel like you may need to say hello and reconnect with them just so you can say like goodbye forever kind of thing. I do feel like there may be something important to do like that, like it's a certain person or a job or something. I feel like it's more likely a relationship with this set of cards. It's like some emotional situation that's causing you upset. It's not like active upset. It feels like you're feeling a bit down in the dumps and detached from people and not particularly wanting communication and not wanting the people who are offered to you. And maybe not wanting anything. I feel like you may be just needing a bit of a downtime. Like you might be very exhausted, and I feel like maybe your energy is not as good as it always is. You maybe need some time to just take care of yourself and your health and rest and be by yourself maybe, or be with very close, trusted family and friends. There may be an old friend you can talk to, or again, like a relative who you maybe haven't spoken to for a long time, and maybe you have not responded to their messages or something like that, or vice versa. But I feel like it might be a good time to reach out, even if you do want to reach out to say goodbye and kind of tell them you've left the situation behind. I also feel like you might be missing someone from the past who you actually do want to return to. Like maybe you don't want to reconnect to say goodbye, but you want to reconnect because you do miss them. And I feel like it's an important time to do things like that. But I also feel like you have a lot on your plate already, and you need to sustain what you're working on. It feels like you're working on something very good, and I feel like you've got a lot of potential. And you're doing really well for the most part, and I feel like you're really great. And things are looking very fertile for you. Like I feel like there's a lot more potential with your life and your business, and I want to say your home and your living situation. And you as a person, then you're maybe seeing right now, you might be feeling not so great about yourself. You might be feeling, again, like detached and maybe like lonely, but at the same time not really wanting to deal with people. I'm feeling like this introverted loneliness that's coming through on this pile. It's like something coming through about you're really happy when you're on your own and you're in your own world and you're focused on work and things. But maybe once people start talking to you, start to feel depressed and unhappy. And I feel like it's kind of like the wrong people putting their energy on you. And it's like the people you have to talk to are making you not want to talk to people anymore. It's like making you want to go into your shell and your hermit mode more, because maybe the way they approach you is unhappy, or the offers that they make to you is not what you want, or it's just like the people who are wanting to speak to you are not the people you want to speak to. It's like, especially if you're missing an ex or something, or missing a specific friend, it's like anyone else will not do. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. And if that is you, I feel like you do need to speak to this ex or this person you're missing, or this special person, because it may be not an ex, it's maybe someone you really like, maybe a friend who you have a crush on or would like to have a relationship with. And I feel like maybe they're a bit disengaged right now, and maybe it's not the right moment to reach out to them. But I do feel like at some point it might be a good time to connect with this person. Maybe just in a sweet, innocent, friendly way, like maybe just reaching out to them in a friendly way. And maybe not expressing your romantic feelings for them just yet. But I do feel like it's important to remember things right now. Like I feel like you may need some like regression therapy. Like I feel like there's some memories from childhood that you may be pushing away. Like they may come back to you and you just try to avoid them or ignore them. And I feel like you may need to go back to your childhood to remember things. And that may really help you, because I feel like there may be some missing information or some gaps in your memory that would really help you. It's like filling in the gaps would help you to feel more secure in your current life and maybe more sociable. Maybe it would help you to make friends more and things like that. I do feel like for somebody, there may be a really good friend you can speak to, like your best friend from childhood or your best friend from back in the day, or someone who's maybe far away from you right now in a way that's kind of like they're in your past, but I feel like you may still want them in your present. That's what's coming through to me. It's like someone who is no longer talking to you or no longer in your world. It's like either they want to talk to you or you want to talk to them. And I'm not sure if you are like sick of them trying to talk to you and you want them to go away. In which case you probably should tell them that, but maybe speak to them first to make sure. Because I feel like some of you don't know if you want what's being offered to you or not. And it's like time to just like check in and make sure it's still what you want before you move forward anymore. Let me see if there's any more messages I can get for you, group 2. What is the solution to group 2's problem? How can group 2 solve the problem? I've got the 2 of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles. I feel like there is a solution you can find, and it is something that is maybe for somebody, if it's like work problems, and we've talked a lot about emotional stuff, I do feel like there may be a job you can find that will really help you. It's like something that gives you enough money, but you may not want it right now. You may have been, I'm not sure if you've been waiting for a while for a response and there's someone coming back to you, but maybe by the time they come back to you, you might have not wanted it anymore or gone away. And again, that can apply to your ex or somebody like that, or a family member or a friend. But I do feel like there's a lot you can focus on that's maybe far away from you that makes you feel more inspired and better. And I'm not sure if these are people far away that you need to catch up with, like maybe sending communication to people, or like checking in with people who you haven't spoken to for a long time, like old friends. It feels like it might help you to feel more excited and happy. And I'm not telling you to communicate with people you really feel unhappy with, but I kind of am if you need to like say goodbye to them, I want to say. But for the most part, I feel like I'm more feeling the energy of somebody who does miss somebody, or is feeling like lonely and wanting to speak to a specific person. And I feel like there may be a way you can contact them, like if it's someone you have a crush on. I feel like you may be able to come up with like a creative way to communicate with them, maybe online, maybe you can DM them. Or maybe you can return to something that worked in the past for you. I'm not sure if someone needs to go back to like an old job or an old job offer or something. Like, did you reject a job offer and you need to go back and accept it or something like that? It's like there's someone who's waiting to hear from you. And I feel like you may need to communicate with them again. It feels like getting busy with work would be really good for this group as well. Because I want to say your work is going really well. And it feels like you're really productive and you're really talented and you have a lot going for you. So I feel like even if things outside of that are a bit stressful, I do feel like it won't do you any harm to go off on like your own solitary journey for a while and go through your memories and think about what you might need to remember or what you can learn from them. I want to say it feels like really beneficial for you. And I feel like it's time to maybe explore a bit more, because you might have been, maybe for someone you've been staying home a lot because you feel comfy at home. But I feel like maybe far away from your house or far away from where you currently are is something that you're missing, or something that you would like to find. And it could be a job, and it could be a relationship partner, it could be a friend, or it could just be like a really fun thing to go and explore right now, so you can get out of your current environment and maybe get out of your own head a bit. I feel like someone is feeling a bit detached, and maybe you want to detach and you want to be allowed to just like meditate in your own space. And I feel like you should if you really need it, but I also feel like there's work that requires your attention. And there may be people who you can communicate with who take you out of that detached, depressed feeling and make you feel more alive or make you feel more enlivened. And I do feel like that may not be something to rush for somebody. It's like somebody may need to go off on their own before they're ready to communicate with people again. But at the same time, I do feel like there's some important communication you can make or that can happen that will maybe help you. It's like maybe applying for jobs or speaking to somebody from your past, or somebody who lives abroad from you, or somebody who lives far away. I do feel like there's something you can study as well, like maybe researching something online, finding solutions online, like maybe the actual solution. If you're having like a really specific problem, like your fridge is broken or something, I feel like there may be like a tutorial or something online that you can follow. You might just have to put in some effort and do it yourself. Like, I'm not sure if you're phoning people to fix the problem and no one's coming for a while. I feel like there may be a sense of needing to try on your own, maybe. It's very interesting. That's like a weird message that's coming through. I also do feel like there may be a need to roam for a bit and kind of take yourself out of the loop, but also still be like observing. So it's like observing from a distance. Like if you do want to detach from people in the world, I feel like it's still good to keep in touch and pay attention and maybe keep on top of like trends and what's going on online and what other people are doing. Just enough so that you don't feel like completely separated. And I feel like even if you do want to detach from people, it's still good for you to check in every now and again to make sure other people are doing okay and just to say hello. And then I feel like you can get back on with your own meditation and personal processes and work and things like that. But I do feel like you may already have the solution in hand, or it may already be there, but you may have just missed it. You may have walked past it or overlooked it or not been interested in it at the time. So I want to say try and remember anything that may have been offered to you, or remember things that seem important to remember. And I feel like the solution is out there. It's just waiting for you to find it. And for someone there's maybe just like a work problem where you just need to work hard and get on with it. So I want to say if you'd like any more solutions to problems, please do feel free to message me. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button below if you find this helpful. Leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated for you. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye. This reading is for you if you chose the heart-shaped dish. I'm going to shuffle on camera today. I'm using the Radiant Rider-Waite-Smith. The solution to group number 3's problem. We have the Lovers, the Hermit, and the Four of Pentacles. I feel like there's a lot of reflection to be done about relationships, and you may want to keep what you find out and what you learn to yourself for now. You may want to keep your cards close to your chest. In a relationship, I'm not sure if somebody's found out something about their partner or found out something about somebody, and it feels like it's not right to share it right now, but you might want to still like do some investigation and keep looking into it and keep jogging your memory and research and looking into it. I'm not sure if you've maybe seen something you didn't like on your partner's computer, or heard something you didn't like through the grapevine about a friend, or I don't know, something like that is coming through. And I do feel like there's more looking into it needed before you react. I do feel like it's good to keep everything to yourself for right now and deal with the situation alone for right now. But also I do feel like there may be a very important relationship you need to focus on if that message doesn't resonate with you, because this is a general reading for everyone. Not every message is for everyone. If that doesn't resonate with you, I do feel like there is someone who you should pay more attention to and focus on more. This may be someone who's not actually in your life yet. It could be like finding love, like maybe you're really lonely and you're kind of like feeling a bit by yourself and a bit stuck. And I'm seeing that you've learned a lot and you've maybe grown up a lot from your past relationships and your past interactions. But maybe you've been keeping yourself to yourself too much and being like single AF and not really dealt with anyone. And I feel like it is important for you to look into your relationship patterns and your choices and like who you want as a partner, to kind of consider that and learn from that. But I also feel like there may be a particular person who your soul is calling out for, who you're kind of looking for, who you're trying to connect with. And I feel like if you have found them, they may have lit up your heart and lit up your mind and given you like a focus for the future. And I feel like it may be time to focus more on that relationship and try to connect with that person deeper. I feel like there may be a particular relationship where you can maybe do some more communication or learn about somebody a bit more, try and research more into somebody and maybe their background or their likes and their dislikes and their habits. Like maybe it's just getting to know you more with your partner. And like normal questions to ask. I feel like maybe you've been a bit shy with your partner, or if you and your partner have been a bit stuck in your relationship, this is coming through like some relationship where people are feeling like they can't talk to each other anymore. I do feel like it might be time to ask like really basic questions, like try and find out, like if you don't know their middle name or you don't know like where their parents grew up or their first pet's name, it's like sort of questions you should ask, like really basic, boring, small talk questions, even just to try and get like the flow of communication back to how it was and to try and get the romance back, I'm hearing, for somebody, because it feels like you may have got stale in a relationship. If that's you, I do feel like there may be some direction that you're trying to find in life that you need to focus on, and it feels like maybe it's away from you a little bit right now, but it feels like you are kind of pointing yourself in that direction anyway. Like, I kind of feel like you've been stuck with some money problems or work load and stress and things like that that have made you feel like you're trapped in one place or you're stuck and have not been able to like go out and look for new opportunities or not been able to find what's right for you, or you've not been able to pursue your dream goals or your dream job or your dream path in life. I do feel like you're being presented with like a crossroads right now. So for somebody, I feel like there's a right decision and a wrong decision, and your heart will guide you to the right decision. But so will your mind and research and trying to find the right answer, like finding the solution for you. Because it feels like Spirit's got a path in mind for you, which is like the correct one. And I feel like you will find it and it will become illuminated to you and it will become obvious to you. But you might need to let go of some like preconceived notions, or let go of certain habits that are keeping you a bit stuck, or maybe just to like loosen up about money and things like that. I feel like for somebody you might have like you might have like some wrong interpretations of things, or you may have some wrong beliefs about love, and that includes things like looking for love in the wrong places, or for example, say you've picked all your partners because of their body and not because of what's in their mind, and it's always gone wrong for you. I do feel like that may be a lesson to learn, like try and look for like spiritual compatibility and intellectual compatibility, and maybe don't play any cards too early. Like, don't let anyone know you're interested in them too early. Try to keep things to yourself a bit more. Maybe be a bit less open and ask more questions of them before you try to lay with them and things like that. I feel like that's very important for somebody. I also want to say trust in God. It feels like if you believe in God, that is. If you're an atheist, never mind. If you're an atheist, I want to say trust in science and books and wisdom and self-help books and like other people's advice and things like that. Like, trust what you know and what you can feel and what's obvious and evident. But yeah, I do feel like for those of you where you do believe in a higher power, spirit, Jah, Shiva, Allah, whatever you want to call it, it feels like time to pray and time to, especially if you want love and you're trying to make love happen, I want to say pray for it and trust spirit's guidance and trust the words you receive. And I want to say try and not be too critical of people and not be too judgmental of people, but also don't be too instantly trusting. Like I said, try to hold back a little bit and try to keep finding out more about a person before you get too attached to them. And in general, with situations, I want to say before you start walking down a path, try and find out as much as you can, like further down the line, before you commit yourself and get stuck into something. I'm going to see if there's any more messages for you, Group 3. Solution to Group 3's problem. The 10 of Cups. Solution to Group 3's problem. The 9 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. I do feel like things are looking kind of good for you guys overall. Like, I feel like you are in quite a strong position in general, but there may be some like small decisions to make, like should you, shouldn't you, as well as the larger decisions. And I do feel like there may be just like day-to-day things that you're worried about right now and you're focused on right now. It's like, should you or shouldn't you make a purchase? It feels like financially you're fine. So if you're considering whether or not to make a purchase, I feel like it's fine, and you may be better off letting go of some money rather than keeping it stuck. Because I especially feel like the more happy you are and the more well off you are in terms of like how you feel about yourself. And that doesn't mean like savings in an account. It more means like good food and feeling relaxed and having like a nice day and taking proper care of yourself. I feel like that kind of thing will make you feel amazing, and it will help you align with your like true destiny and your true course in life. And I do feel like for somebody, holding on to too much money is not really helping you, and it may be better to like keep it moving and keep it flowing. As long as you've got enough, I feel like you guys do. And I feel like you've made a lot of sacrifices, and for somebody that might be the advice, like make sacrifices to get to where you want to go. And it feels like things will build up soon. It feels like your career is building up. It feels like your savings account will build up. And I feel like you have a lot of prosperity coming to you, and I feel like in general you do have a lot of prosperity right now. Maybe for you to change your attitude a little bit on certain things, like lighten up on certain things. Try and de-stress and try and have more fun with, especially your money. If you've got like big saving goals, I feel like it might be fun to tried to find more fun ways to spend it. I feel like someone may have been talking to somebody. This is a random message. It's like someone's talking to somebody and they're not necessarily sure about you right now. They might be lacking commitment. And I feel like it's maybe good for you to stay in the same kind of energy as them, like match their energy. And take it really slow, like to treat the talking stage as slow and treat the flirtation as slow and the getting to know you slow. Because I feel like this person may have past experiences that have made them like distrustful of people, and it's not necessarily that they're, I want to say like it's not necessarily that they're two-timing you or something. It's more like they're maybe just not sure right now. They like to be very sure before they commit. And they may not have that much time for conversations, so it may be like slow replies. But I feel like you should try and change your mind state to happy and grateful if that's you. And I want to say, like, keep researching. Like, if you do have a theory that your partner's two-timing you or cheating you, keep looking into it before you react to anything, because I feel like you might end up feeling a bit silly if you accuse them of something that they're not doing. Because it feels like overall the situation's very happy. And especially if you're married with kids, I feel like it is a happy marriage. And I feel like especially if you're, like, well taken care of by your partner, and they'd like pay your bills and stuff, I feel like they're probably not acting out of character, like they're not acting up. I feel like they maybe have some financial problems right now that they're trying to deal with, and they're maybe weighing up decisions on their own. And I'm sorry for talking about another person instead of you. But back to you guys, I do feel like there's a way you can get more comfort where you are and to try and make your environment nicer, because I do feel like you may have been not very happy and kind of stuck and like holding on to things for too long. I'm not sure if you need to make decisions about like what to keep and what to get rid of, but also what to get and what not to get. Some of you might have maybe a lot of possessions already and you're still trying to choose like to buy new things, and it feels like maybe you don't need to right now. Maybe your financial situation's a bit turbulent and maybe you can't afford to spend so much, and I feel like you may be very abundant even without spending so much more. It's like you've already got quite a lot of happiness and you've already got what you need where you are. So I feel like for the most part, I just need to tell you guys to keep managing and try and maintain the best as you can for right now on like a daily basis with the resources you have, and try and be resourceful with your spending and your money and your activities and your energy, because it feels like you don't have any problems that are as bad as like the other groups I've done. Like group number 1's was really intense. This one feels like a bit mild compared to the previous two. And I feel like for the most part, you guys actually have a lot of happiness and great things in your life to focus on. And I want to say focus more on what you love and less on things that stress you out, because I feel like that will help you to like reset your gratitude and your appreciation and your feelings of love in life. So definitely try and spend time with people you love and try and focus on things that make you feel well. And I do want to say come for a personal reading if you do have more significant problems, because this is a general reading, so it might be that some things are a bit personal and we have to do it as a personal. So if you can afford it, please do get in touch for a personal reading. The information will be below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this reading. Leave me a comment to let me know how it resonated for you. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button to join the Tara and Chill family. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.